Namaste, and welcome to this asana video manual. My name is Kee McGraw.
And my name is Bob Smith.
And we are thrilled to bring to you this particular video series that's based on our asana photo manual. Enjoy. Namaste. And welcome back to this asana video manual, in which now we'll be focusing in back bends. As we initially want to warm the body up, we're going to be utilizing the salutation to the moon yet again, and with a few different variations. And as such, allow yourself to come into a wide-legged position of your foundation with your legs a leg distance apart. And in doing so, open your right leg to the right with a deep rotation in that right hip. Shift both sides of the pelvis back towards the left heel. And as you're working, you might continue with both hands behind the back for greater core work. The traditional posture arms are always welcome, but you also might play with these arm variations, reaching the right arm away from the right hip, or even both arms reaching together, framing the head, which incrementally challenge our core more completely. One more breath here. When you release from the posture, let's lunge into extended side angle, Parsvakonasana. And as you do so, again, hinge in that right hip, directing both sides of the pelvis towards the left heel. In doing so, the hands behind the back works in that armless variation to ensure that the core is engaged. And you might then continue in the traditional arm position, or challenge that core even more completely, reaching the right arm directly away from the right shoulder. And one more breath here. Now when you release from the position, pivot on your back foot. Bending your left knee, draw your pelvis up to vertical, and as you do so, reach those arms overhead in Virabhadrasana 2 in our consideration. Gradually from here, deepening, bending that right knee until the left knee can come down to the ground. Working in this quad stretch, you might turn and look back to the left. You could be developing more completely with the left heel into the buttock, or taking it into the mermaid position, as we did in the last video. Or here I'm demonstrating the full rotation of the shoulder, taking it into a variation that is a half camel. And one more breath. When you release from the posture, you can shift back your hips onto the heel, hinging at the hips, folding forward in Triangulakapada Paschimottanasana, the three-limbed forward bend. Or taking your focus into the splits position, now with an emphasis towards the back bending, using the hands by the hips to lift up through the head and the chest. And doing so with the same variation as we just were in, with the shoulder rotation. And one more breath. Now when you release from the posture, you'll come on back and free up the left foot, taking left foot to the inner right thigh, left knee straight forward, and left hand's right by that left hip as you press up into Ardha Mandalasana, the half circle posture. With it, the right arm can be reaching all the way back behind you, and the head and eyes can turn and look downward towards the left hand. A further variation could include the left foot on the ground instead of the left knee, and opening up through the whole right side of the waistline. And one more breath. When you release from the posture, we'll come back down and retrace our steps with the rotations. In doing so, take your left knee on the ground and the right foot on the ground. Crossing your left elbow over the right thigh. Use the prayer position to lift through the head and the chest as you turn and look to the right. And one more breath here. As you release, untwist, and with the left foot hooked under and left knee bending, draw your way back up to Virabhadrasana for just a breath. Now rotating the extended side angle, left elbow crosses the right thigh. Prayer position to lift as you turn and look to the right. Breathing as you're reaching through, and Prasarita Parsvakonasana. One more breath. Releasing to untwist, straightening through right knee. Draw your left leg in a little closer. Pyramid is the base position from which we'll rotate the triangle As such, feel free to walk the hands anywhere up along that right leg to still maintain the long and neutral spine. As you're able, then left hand can stay wherever it's come to support your spine the best. Turn and look to the right. Head and eye gaze can be. Focusing on your outstretched right hand, reaching upward towards the ceiling. And one more breath. Now releasing from the posture. Allow yourself to draw your way back to forward restful position. Prasarita Padottanasana. And as you do so, bend the elbows and knees, shifting slightly side to side, circling through the hips and shoulder sockets.
And we'll do the second side. Key will be showing the variations, and I'll be doing the straightforward, easier positions. Do what works for you. Come up, and we'll take it to the left side. Turn your left foot open. Fold into the left hip joint. He was using interweaved fingers. It's core support. And then the normal arm positioning. One more breath. Exhale, you're rolling back right in the triangle pose, reaching through, finally looking up. And then back out a little bit. Bend the left knee. Possibly widen your legs slightly apart. Push off the left quadricep with your left forearm. Open the left hip joint. You could interweave your fingers on the way down, challenging yourself a little bit more. You could take your arms up and out. I'm using the traditional arm position here. Open the two hips, reach to the right side, extended side angle, one more. Inhale, and exhale, and reach through. And then release. Turn. Warrior, number Warrior 2. And then you're going to bring it down, so your right knee's going to come down. And Key will show some of the more challenging positions. The straightforward one is what I'm doing. He's doing the full rotation of the shoulder joint. It's a quadricep stretch in either case. Open into the pose. And one more breath. Open. And then release and come out. And into what will be forward splits with the shoulder rotation for Key. And for me, it'll just be sitting on the right foot, folding over the left leg. And in both cases, it's a hamstring stretch. Work with the tipping of the pelvis. If you're doing the full rotation, you're a great yogi. So one more breath. Reach through, and then come out. And we're going to take that right foot to the inner left thigh. Bring your right hand down by the right buttock. Come up on the right knee, the right hand. And you're reaching the left side, reaching through that left leg. Key's doing what is called a wild thing. It's a wild pose. Now reach through that left side. It's a stretch of the left lower rib cage. What Key's doing is balancing as well. One more breath. Roll back, left, reach through. And then release. Come out, and we're going to turn towards the left. With the right knee down. Come across with the left elbow. Come across with the right elbow. And turn it. It's good for the low back. And then come out, and we'll come into warrior. Hook under with the right foot. The right knee's off the ground. We'll come up. One exhale here. Exhale, reach through. And then leaning out over that left leg. Take your right elbow across to the outside of the left thigh. Key has the binding. Push out with the left knee, holding with the right arm. Turn the low back, the low ribs. Push through the back leg. One more breath. Exhale, reach through. And release. Come out into rotated triangle. The back leg comes in or the front foot comes back. You're in the pyramid to start, folding over that left leg, and then rotating the pyramid into rotated triangle. A couple more breaths. Open that left hamstring, reach through. The right hand could be on a block, it could be on the shin, it could be on the floor. One more breath, inhale. And exhale and reach through the rotated triangle. And then release. And we'll come out and move around a little bit. Now, rest and find a strap. We're going to do some shoulder loosening with the strap.
So as you find your strap, and you've also integrated some of the efforts you just made in the salutation to the moon, and you can come up into your standing mountain posture, Tadasana, feeling as you do that from the crown all the way down to the feet is a nice neutral straight line. And we want to keep that even as we start to open through the chest more completely. Finding that strap, or maybe an old belt, or a tie, and sometimes you might even just use a shower towel with the elbows out to the sides of the shoulders, lifting through the head and the chest. Start to reach the arms back behind you. Doing so starting at a 90-degree angle at the elbows, and gradually you can straighten through those arms. When we straighten the arms easily, we might want to cinch up on the strap. And if we need more room, you know how to do that too. One more breath. As you release from the posture, come on back through center, and allow yourself to just circle through the shoulders a little bit in one direction, and then in the other. Now let's focus on one shoulder at a time, so that these full rotations in the shoulder become possible for you. In this way, taking hold of the strap, wrap your right elbow in, so right elbow can come up on top of the right shoulder. Behind your back, you'll reach your hand back behind so that you can hold onto the strap. And then from here, with the pubic bone lifted, reach upward with the right arm, into which you can then have space, and reaching that left arm back. And breathing as you're reaching through. Notice the nice lift of Bob's chest, and also the firm placement of his pelvis, absolutely vertical. One more breath. Now as you release, you can come on back down, and let's take this that we affectionately refer to as shoulder flossing onto your second side. With the left elbow wrapping in, so left shoulder stays on top of the left shoulder. Reach your left elbow upward. With left elbow on top of left shoulder, reach that left arm up higher. The right hand fishes around until it grabs the strap, and from there you can start to reach that right arm back as the left arm still stays upward. Breathing as you're reaching through, lifting the chest, observing Bob's lovely rising up of his rib cage. And with that, one more breath here. As you release from the posture, come on back through center. Once you come into center, you might take the strap around the back of the neck just to give it a place to rest. And doing so, give yourselves a hug. In the hug, broaden and open the upper back. Allow yourself to round just a little bit and shift slightly side to side. Easing out with those upper back muscles. One more breath. And as you release, let's just switch so that the other arm's on top. And with it, getting into the upper back in a slightly different way, with that variation of movement, side to side, letting it be easy for you. And one more breath here. As you release, come on back to center, and let's ground some of this energy before we shift into a challenging back bend focus, down dog dance. Inhale, expand the arms to the side body, and exhale, collect your energy, bring it back where you need it most. Inhale as you expand the arms to the side, and exhale, collect. Put it where you need it. And one more time. Inhale. And exhaling. Now, having tended to the shoulders might make it a little bit easier for us to find our way into some of the back bends that are following.
The next sequence is going to, it's a bit of a down dog dance with the emphasis on the back bending part of it. So in down dog, lift up, and then we're going to lower, come down into the push-up, and then onto the floor. From here, interweave your fingers, and you're lifting your chest. Here's the armless cobra. Turn to one side, so you roll over, say, on the left side. And you're working the right shoulder blade. It's effective for the top shoulder blade area. And then release the first side and take it to the second side. You're on the right side, and the left shoulder blade's working. You're pulling down through that left shoulder blade, fitting the neck in, and then release there, and come down with the hands up into the down dog. That's the first back bend. And one more breath in the down dog. And then let's release. We're going to come down and do a twisting variation. Come down onto the ground with your belly and your thighs. And take your right forearm under the head. You're going to come up. Keep the right shoulder blade going down the back. Your left hand comes back and lightly holds the right thigh. Try to fit the neck in, so keep the right shoulder blade down the back as you turn left. A little more difficult than on the ground. And release it. And then the second side. Your left forearm is down. And right hand's coming back. And so the right hand, you could push off the sacrum as Key is showing, or the hand could come around to the left thigh or the floor. It's working this mid-upper back. See the length she's getting. And then let's release and come out of there and backing up into the down dog position. Cobra. Come down forward. Just try a cobra for a moment on the hands. So the snake slithers, move around a little bit like a snake. And then the cobra, of course, hoods up when it's hungry. Push down with your hands, roll the shoulders back. Neck should be long. And one more breath here. Pull through the cobra, rearing up like a cobra snake. And then release. And from here, Key is going to show the king cobra. And you can rest and appreciate the king cobra, or you can try the king cobra. It's a powerful back bend.
Now you might initially have a little support, as Bob's about to demonstrate, to help to stabilize the legs and give me a point of focus for my head to come and find my feet.
And so there's the cobra rearing up, and the king cobra touches, and there it is. King cobra. Very taxing on the low back, and then we'll take a rest. Rest into prayer position.
And once you've rested, you have a chance to experience the benefits of the challenging movements through the down dog, to start to open through the spine and to open through the shoulders and to open the chest. And we'll be needing that more completely next as we transition into the kneeling camel, or Ustrasana.
So this is a classic position on the knees. The knees are hip distance apart. The pelvis, you're opening the hips slightly. Pelvis forward. Sacrum strong. You can push off the sacrum with your thumbs or the fingers. Lift the lower ribs. The key is to lengthen the low back enough so you're lifting the belly. And then as you see with Key, the neck finally goes back, but at first it's hooding in with the chin. And then Key is showing the deeper version. I'm showing the easier version. That's the full camel is what Key is doing. Lifting, and I'm lifting the chest, making sure my low back and neck are okay. And one more breath. Open in the camel and come out of the camel and into prayer position. rest.
Fish is next.
Moving along in our back bend sequence, we're going to do another classic pose, fish pose. There are many different kinds of fish in the ocean, and there are numerous fish asanas. The one I'm going to be showing is with straight legs. The elbows push off the ground, and the head tips back. How do we come up with fish here? Well, if you're in the ocean and you lay your head back, the legs straight down, and you look something like this position, you can see Ki is not dropping her head immediately. You're pulling out with the ribs, shoulders down the back, and then finally the head would lower. And then another variation is to raise the legs and the arms, a little more challenging. You can see the reaching through, and then we'll come out and rest.
We need to do that one again because you need to do it because you're in the way of the visual. So do your fish with your legs and your arms like that. Cute.
Okay.
They can't see mine because you're blocking the view. So you said with your legs straight, and that's fine. Then just do it from here and with your arms and yours when you're ready and your head's down.
And then the legs and arms can raise. You're still trying to pull out with the ribs and reach it too. So you're not just locking in, you're breathing through it, reaching to it. And one more breath. Breathe through it, reach through it. And then release, come out, and you'll rest on your back for a moment.
And then rock to a seated position, and we're going to come onto our belly for the bow pose. First, the classic bow. So on your belly, you'll bend your knees and take hold of the ankles with your hands. You're going to push through the heels of the feet. Pull back with the feet. Pull out with the chest, just like you're pulling a bowstring. And you see that little rocking action that Ki's getting, helps you get a little leverage in the pose. It's the pull back that gives you the pull out. And one more breath. Pull through like a bow getting pulled. And release it. And then we're going to watch Ki as she does the full rotation in the bow pose. Just getting a strap and a bolster.
Now, as you approach the full rotation and bow, you might want to use a bolster to help to support the pubic bone so that it's not grinding into a hard surface. Always said often we do well to rotate through one shoulder at a time initially, and as such. Using one hand to help to support so that the other hand is free to focus on the shoulder rotation. You might do one side and then try the other side. You could be using your strap for this as well, strapping up around one ankle, get one shoulder over time to cooperate. From here, as you're able, you might do both sides. One side at a time. And then gradually pressing back as we lift upward. When we release from the posture, whether it's your regular bow or bow with one shoulder rotated or both, just taking a moment in prayer. Now what's true is all of these back bends build one on the other. And so instead of making it harder, it gets easier and easier as we move along. Now, next, we're coming into our full back bend. And this way, Chakrasana.
So wheel or full back bend or Chakrasana. Different names for the same pose. We start on your back. We walk our feet in, close to the buttock. Hands go underneath the shoulders. And then on the exhale, you create a force to lift. And as you lift, you open your shoulders. So you're rocking over. The feet are grounded. Push through the legs, allow the chest to open if your shoulder joint, allow that. And there's one leg up, a fancier version. You could still just do your regular full back bend or give this a try. Reach through. Beautiful. And then you always come down with as much grace as possible. Hold the knees in for a moment. There's going to be one more back bend that we show, and that's going to be the wheel on the forearms. It's more challenging on the shoulders than on the hands, and so Key will demonstrate this. Comes up into the full back bend, and then brings the forearms down, and then rocks over. And then she's straightening her legs out. And then coming down slowly and resting in.
Now on your way to a full back bend with one leg up and to the full back bend in your forearms, there are two intermediary positions that will assist you. As Bob comes onto his back, he'll be demonstrating the bridge posture, which we practiced before. Lifting up the hips, sliding the shoulders underneath the back. And then from here, as Bob's able to lift one leg up. With it like lifting, he's going to flex that foot, turn the foot open, and lower it down. Doing so, keeping the two knees evenly horizontal, and then squaring up the pelvis, feeling that greater core connection here. And one more breath. As Bob releases, he can come all the way down and take a break, and you certainly could too, or transition directly to your second side. With that leg lifted, he's flexing the heel and rotating open so that he's lowering. He's getting the benefit through the core, especially through the psoas. With the knees together, the hips are evenly lifting. And again, that takes quite a bit of core connection to get there. But this will help you build into that one leg up towards the ceiling in your wheel posture. Now as Bob comes back and down, he'll hug his knees back into the chest and easing out through that low back. The next variation is another bridge that will help you to develop more completely into your forearm back bend. In this way, this will be a bridge now with the hands up and underneath the hips to press and lift the hips up. So we start to get the sense of what is required in terms of extending through the knees. Bob walks one leg at a time away from those hips. He's still pressing and lifting the hips up, developing more completely the extension across the hips that's required in that forearm back bend. And one more breath here. And when you release from the posture, you'll come on back down and hug the knees into the chest. And it would do us well to take a very gentle twist on our back. To the right. Lift the two knees. And making sure all is well as you reverse and take it to your second side. Two legs to the left. As you're turning and looking back to the right. Making sure all is well. In the back. And as you release, come on back through center. And back up for the pranayama that Bob selects to lead.
Of course, the back bends open our chest in, so the breathing comes easier after back bends, much easier. Let's do a deep, slow Ujjayi inhale and a deep, slow Ujjayi exhale. Exhale, towards 8 seconds. And then inhale towards 8, belly out at first. And the ribs expand as you continue the inhale. The chest opens. Hold the air in for a moment. Now you've gained a certain length of spine on the inhale. Maintain it as you exhale. Belly back. So you start the exhale from the belly muscles. You keep pushing them back. Squeeze the air out. Inhale towards 10, a little longer. Inhale, belly out at first. And then it flattens as you come up. More and more, belly continues to flatten. Shoulders roll back a little bit. You gained a certain height, certain length of spine. Now maintain it as you exhale. Abdominal muscles back. Keep the length of the waistline, keep the length of the neck as you exhale. Don't cave your shoulders forward. One more time. Inhale towards 10. Belly out. Then the ribs expand, the base of the tongue is back the whole while. It's an Ujjayi breath. Hold the air in, feel the upliftment of the whole back bend set. It converges into this moment. And exhale from the bottom to the top. Now we're going to finish the routine just by grounding down. Take your palms from face up just to down. Ground down. Bring this good back bend energy with you as you go out into the world. Namaste.
Namaste.